What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie298 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And I'm really late to the party on this one because I did a bunch of soul searching as to whether or not I was going to risk my livelihood and risk my channel by talking about this. I'll explain that at the end of the video, but I decided that this was worth signal boosting, so let's talk about it. Now, here's the channel I'm talking about. It belongs to the Act Man, and it's a fairly successful channel with 1.5 million subscribers, and more importantly, just about everything he uploads, even though it's not that often, a couple times a month. 1.4 million views, 1.6 million views, 2 million views. That's a lot of ad revenue on these nice, long review videos that he does. And unfortunately, YouTube chose to demonetize his channel. Over a couple of tweets is what it really comes down to, though we'll get into that. But something I want to remind you of here, right now. It's so important that you do stuff like support people's Patreons, buy their merchandise, deal with their sponsors, because YouTube can pull the rug out from underneath any of us. All of us at any moment, at any second. They can demonetize you, they can delete your channel. If you like a creator, you should absolutely choose to support them if you can afford to do so. But all of this starts with someone who's turning out to be the arch villain of YouTube right now, Quantum TV. Originally, this guy had a very small YouTube channel dedicated to mostly reviewing televisions and giving you the right settings for those televisions, which is, I mean, you know, a niche I didn't know existed because my TVs are on factory settings, but apparently some people really want to get the best picture. Unfortunately, he decided to step out of his lane and instead review Elden Ring. And to say that his Elden Ring review was bad is pretty tone deaf. It was a very bad review. I'd love to show you some footage from it here, but the guy goes copyright crazy, which is what started this whole controversy to begin with. Now, a lot of YouTubers dogpiled on that review and kind of made fun of it, which is everyone's right. They showed parts of the review they disagreed with, they discussed it, and Quantum TV, instead of being like an adult and just shrugging it off and taking the criticism, decided that he had to respond to pretty much every single video, and one of the ways he responded was by abusing copyright here on YouTube. And I'm not going to try to teach you copyright law here. The Wikipedia page does a pretty good job of that. But the long story short, somebody reviewing his review, showing limited amounts of the clips and talking about what they liked and what they didn't like about his review is absolutely fair use. Quantum TV, for whatever reason, didn't see it that way, and this created a Streisand effect. Most people just ignored his review. A handful of people mocked it. Now he reacts poorly to that, so now everybody is hearing about his bad review, so more people are dunking on him, which makes him react more. He just can't handle the criticism, and it becomes just a complete mess. I wanted to join the dog pile originally and talk about his review and then talk about his response to the reviews of his reviews, but who am I to judge how somebody takes criticism? At least I've never had a video taken down. At least I've never abused copyright to get it done. So at least that, right? Like, I'm a step up above this guy. And if you want more details about Quantum TV and this entire exploit, go see Copyright Abuse on YouTube featuring Quantum TV by the Act Man, the video that really started this current level of the drama. And I think I highly recommend this video because not only does it show how copyright abuse was being done, but then on top of that, threats of litigation, doxing, sharing of personal information, all kinds of claims, and with plenty of receipts, those claims are made that the Quantum TV has been doing this type of thing for quite some time, and it seems like he even did it to the Act Man based on some of his tweets. And to get off on a small tangent here, this is just something that YouTube has been allowing for years, something I've directly talked to YouTube about. Harassment is rampant on this platform. There are entire channels dedicated to harassing certain creators, taking them out of context, supplying commentary, just doing terrible, awful stuff. Doxing happens, threats happen. It's happened to me, it's happened to other creators I know, it's happened to creators I've never met. It is just common and rampant here. And even though it's against terms of services, those terms of services are never enforced for some reason. And it's mind-boggling to me that Quantum TV could do this so visibly with so many receipts and get away with it. But get away with it he certainly did. I know for a fact that Actman and several other people went to their YouTube reps, showed them this receipt, asked them to act on this guy's channel, and so far YouTube has done nothing about what Quantum TV has chosen to do, using his channel, using his platform, using his social media, even using his community tab. He admits to sharing private information on his community tab. I don't know how that's okay. And if you'd like to see all of those receipts and see all of that proof, I would love to recommend to you a video called The Dark Age of YouTube by the Act Man. Quite unfortunately, you can't see that because YouTube choose to remove it for what seems like the silliest reason, for sexual content and nudity, when there was none of that in the video other than a stupid pickle joke. In fact, here's the offending pickle in question, and because it was near Quantum TV's mouth, that's sexual in nature. I don't know, I eat pickles all the time. It wasn't too long after that he ended up getting his entire channel demonetized. And when he raised a stink about it online, YouTube creators decided to respond. Team YouTube said, as discussed, your YPP suspension follows your now deleted threatening to dox the families of YouTube employees and creators. We don't take these decisions lightly and want you to know we're taking your concerns just as seriously. We'll keep working with you directly on this. Now, for context, here are the tweets that the Act Man made, and I think they're clearly sarcastic, but who am I to say, because my tweets get taken out of context all the time. Sarcasm doesn't work very well on the internet, but here he says, I'm excited to announce a new series of videos I'll be making on YouTube called Doxing Adventures with the Act Man. In it, I'll be doxing and harassing the family members of YouTube employees and other content creators. It's sure to have lots of family fun, ha ha ha. He went on to say, with YouTube's new policy change that allows doxing and invasion of privacy, I'm fully allowed to make these videos. Please stay tuned for this generation of advertiser-friendly content. Those are some dumb fucking tweets, man. And I'm the king of dumb tweets. So if I think your tweet is fucking dumb, then chef's kiss. It's fucking cringy as shit. I mean, it was just a few years ago that a disgruntled content creator walked into YouTube headquarters and murdered some people. So maybe we don't joke about that kind of thing. And obviously the Act Man realized that. He deleted the tweets. In an interview with Philip DeFranco, he apologized for them. Certainly when he was talking to his YouTube rep about this, he did everything he could to apologize for it, make sure that they knew it was sarcastic, but YouTube chose to take action anyway to make an example of him. And you know what? I get it. I really do. A little bit I side with YouTube on wanting to take an action. The action they took of completely suspending monetization indefinitely, not necessarily the action I think they should have taken. And you know who else agrees with me that they might have overreacted but should still take an action? Pretty much every creator, including the Act Man. I think they overreacted. He thinks they overreacted. Most creators think they overreacted. But I feel like some action needed to be taken for those tweets because they don't want to mess around with that kind of thing. But YouTube has always turned a blind eye to harassment and bullying. When Quantum TV did it and admits to doing it and posts his own receipts of him doing it, they chose to do nothing about that. Why? If you're going to enforce the policy of threatening to do an act when somebody actually does that act, you have to punish that person too, YouTube. Obviously. How hypocritical is it to not care when a content creator who makes you thousands, millions of dollars, it gets harassed and you turn a blind eye to it, but now someone's just threatening sarcastically to do that to people that work at YouTube, and now you're taking action? That comes across as extremely hypocritical, and I take great offense to it. I know YouTube content creators who get paid from YouTube are just contract workers, but we're still workers. We still work for the company. I think you should protect content creators the same way you protect the people that walk into the office every day. And don't get me wrong, I want you to protect the people that work at that office. I've met hundreds of people that work at YouTube. Everyone has been incredibly kind people. My YouTube partner rep, who's just a good friend to me at this point, is also an incredibly good person. Protect him at all costs, but protect the rest of us too. The people at YouTube who made the decision to demonetize Act Man are just people. They're infallible. They're going to make mistakes from time to time, and maybe they made one here. Maybe they made another one by not acting on Quantum TV. And you know, Quantum TV is just one visible person, one visible bad actor amongst thousands of bad actors that they might be dealing with every day. We don't know. But I do say, if you're going to visibly sanction Actman, which you had every right to do and probably a reason to do, just you maybe went a little too far, you should absolutely be sanctioning the other very visible person here who's clearly breaking your guidelines. Going back to the opening of the video, here's where I risk my channel. By talking about the fact that YouTube makes millions of dollars every year off of channels dedicated to harassment and bullying. It's absolutely a thing that's happening. It's absolutely a thing that exists. I can name 5 such channels right off the top of my head. And no, I'm not talking about your drama alerts and your commentary community, people like Sunny V2. I'm talking about something completely different. There are tons of channels dedicated to harassing specific creators, and all they do is criticize those specific creators. And some of these channels are very popular, getting tens of thousands of views on every upload, making YouTube tens of thousands of dollars every month. There's one channel in particular that I know YouTube knows about that has claimed that I'm a pedophile and faked receipts to prove it, that claimed that I am abusive to women, that has claimed all of these stupid, outrageous things about me, harasses me every day, dedicated specifically to me, and YouTube just doesn't give a shit. Quantum TV is not an outlier. He's the norm. There are so many creators that do this type of thing, that harass others using their videos, using their voice, using their community tab, using the copyright system, using literally every tool that YouTube hands them, and YouTube knows it happens. They know. And they're not currently doing anything about it, and I'm hoping they will. I'm hoping this experience, this situation, this video can help make that happen. I mean, to fully bring it around to me, and make the story about myself, as I almost do in every single video, the harassment that I received on YouTube and Reddit and elsewhere dehumanized me so much that a lunatic eventually showed up on my front door and trespassed because they thought I was some sort of monster that this harassment and bullying had turned me out to be. That's my life. That's my reality. And it sucks. So I hate the fact that YouTube overreacted to what was clearly a sarcastic tweet, but I'm glad that it's a step in the right direction of taking some action. I'm hoping that Quantum TV is next, and then I hope there's some policy changes and some policy enforcing that cleans up this part of YouTube, because it needs to be. I'm not talking about people criticizing YouTubers. I'm not talking about calling out bad actors in the community. I'm talking about harassment and bullying, which is a completely different thing, and it's something that Quantum TV is absolutely, in my opinion, guilty of. Hell, by his own admission. In a perfect world, I would like YouTube to eventually give back monetization to the Actman. I'd like to see the community support the Actman. I like his videos. Go deal with the sponsors. Buy his merch. I think you might decide you'd like to do that. I'd also like to see them take action on people like Quantum TV who are threatening, harassing, doxing, copyright abusing, and doing all of these other things. This is a first step in a long road, YouTube. Work your way down that road. Take down actual abusers. Take down actual garbage. I would love you for it. Clean up the platform. It's too late to benefit me at this point, but maybe it could benefit so many others. And I feel like it's a worrisome category, because if YouTube oversteps its boundaries, then we won't be able to talk about other creators. We won't be able to discuss them. We won't be able to call out bad actors in our community, and that would suck, because I think it's important we're allowed to do that. But when we cross the line, and it's pretty obvious when we do, we shouldn't be allowed to do that. If they're going to err, I'd like them not to err in the side of, people getting their lives ruined. Now, as usual, this is one man's opinion. I could be wrong, and I know people are going to disagree with me. And if YouTube does, they might end up demonetizing me, which I really, really hope doesn't happen, because I really definitely need that ad revenue these days. But just in case they do, Meta PCs is selling PCs. Do you need a PC? Do you want to buy a cool t-shirt today? That'd be so cool. That supports me as well. Links are down below. Drop a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. Become a channel member. If you enjoyed the video, hit that super thanks thing and throw a couple bucks my way. Whatever it is you want to do the YouTube stuff. You know how to do it. I don't have to teach you. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I will speak with you again soon.